So I am here with fellow UF student Connor Bennett, performing my third interview for exercise 16A, figuring out buyer behavior. So Connor, just to give you like a little background, my idea revolves around an earpiece implemented in like your casual sports bar atmosphere. So when I was little, my dad used to take me to a bunch of different sports bars on Sunday. We're both pretty big Broncos fans, so we would spend a lot of afternoons eating wings, watching all the adults drink beer, and just enjoying football. But one of my big problems was trying to keep up with the really slow and annoying subtitles on 8 to 9 different games at a time. Normally the subtitles are very slow and you don't even follow what's happening on screen. So my opportunity revolves around restaurants like this implementing a little bit of technology into an earpiece that consumers can purchase or grab when they get in the restaurant that allows you to tune in to whatever game you would like at any time. So just to start off, are you a sports fan?
Yes, big sports fan. I grew up watching sports my entire life. I'm from New York, so I value things, big Yankees fan, Jets, Long Island, Islanders, so yeah, big sports fan.
That's good, yep. Everyone, you love to hear it. Do you eat out a lot?
Yes, I do. I eat out probably 2 to 3 times a week. I'll go out on Sundays when it's football season, and Saturdays during baseball season because they'll typically have the majority of the games on if I don't get something like NFL Network or MLB Network, those kind of places.
Yeah, I feel like with us being in college, like our fast-paced lifestyles revolve a lot around eating out. So what kind of restaurants specifically do you enjoy?
So where I'm from, there's a lot of different sports bars that people tend to go to in town. So those kind of like those dive bars or those restaurant bars that will have a lot of TVs around, something to keep you entertained. If you go by yourself and you just want to sit out and watch the games, those kind of places. Burgers, places that serve a lot of wings, go to a lot of wing specials, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so obviously these places have TVs. Do you prefer a restaurant with TVs, or are you more against them?
So I don't necessarily mind going to a restaurant that has a TV. I think it depends on the scenario and what type of meal you're going to have. So more often than not, if you're going to go out with your family, typically you're going to want to spend that time together and just talking with one another. But say you go out with your friends, or it's just you and your dad, or you and your buddies, I don't mind going to a place where there's TVs because we're all going to be watching, wanting to do the same thing and deal with the common interest in sports.
Yeah, I've noticed that my dad absolutely loves going out and watching the TV, whereas my mom just gets pretty irritated with all of us because we don't pay a lot of attention to her. But, that's completely beside the point. So I have noticed that a lot of their sports bars, like, say, Duffy's, for example, has implemented a speaker at each table that hooks up or connects to whatever game you want to like, which is along the same aspect as this earpiece. But normally what happens is the speakers end up just one gets louder than the other, and then that one gets louder than the next, and before you know it, there is just a large crowd of people screaming and yelling over each other. And that's where my idea comes from. Would you be willing to pay a little bit extra to use an individual earphone?
And from my personal experience with going to places, I hate reading the closed captions on TVs. And I have been to a Duffy's where they have the speaker system installed, and it's exactly like you said, where people are just kind of fighting table against table of which ones can be projected the loudest. I think an earpiece would not only help solve that situation so that conversation can still be had amongst people who want to do that, but I think it will also be a nice way to implement a more intimate experience for each person at the restaurant if they wanted to just go by themselves and not feel like they're alone and they have those earpieces and it'd be like they're at home, but they're also getting the food that they want to eat.
Yeah, I could get behind that. Do you think it would be smarter for the restaurants themselves to buy these earpieces and then, maybe charge people a little bit extra? Or do you think that consumers themselves should buy the earpiece and then maybe, use it at whatever restaurant it's accessible at? Like a restaurant can be earpiece accessible where you can bring your earpiece and then use it as you wish. Which do you think is the better method?
I think the most cost-efficient way, if you want to do this a lot, would be for an individual consumer to buy an earpiece on their own and then use that at places. However, they would have to know already that place is earpiece accessible. So companies would have to come out with maybe an advertisement or rebrand themselves and allow others to know that, we do have places where you can come and use that earpiece. That way you don't just buy it and then it's never, implemented at that restaurant. I honestly think the best way to do it would be both, because not everyone is going to buy that individual earpiece. And some people may not even know about it yet, so having it be available at the restaurant would make it, I think that would be the best option. And then having, that kind of dual deal where you can get your own, or you can do it at the restaurant, provided that the restaurant has a cleaning service and sanitizes them regularly.
Yeah, sanitation would definitely be important, but I think just having the idea within the restaurant opens a whole new market to people, so I can definitely see people getting behind it. So talking about you personally as a shopper, are you more of in buying your products offline, or do you like to go into the store and have the tangible item?
So I think now, just because I have an Amazon account and it's usually a lot cheaper, and it's also easier for me to buy clothes, given that I'm a bigger person, so they don't necessarily have things like my specific size. So I think having it online where you can customize it and make, say, an earpiece, in store they'd probably sell a generic brand, but online you could probably go on and you can customize it, make it your own. I think that would provide
that's a great idea.
A better way for people to look at it. If a company wanted to sell them as a part of their store on a website basis, would probably be the best way to do it.
Okay, well, just branching off of that, can you see non-sports fans getting behind this? Say my mom, for example. My mom just, when we go to a sports bar, she just wants to watch the news. Can you see the smaller market of people getting behind this earpiece idea?
I think this earpiece idea can be applied to people who want to watch any different type of show on TV. So that's not necessarily going to be only sports. I know that at a lot of restaurants they'll broadcast the news in closed captions, or they'll broadcast different interviews that are going on, or different types of shows. Even, in the middle of the day, half the time there'll be TV dramas or TV sitcoms that are on. So I think as long as there's a place for people to hook it up to that TV that they're watching, I think a lot of people would be able to get behind this idea, and I think this would be a product that would actually grow an exponential amount once people start finding out more about it.
Okay. All right, so back to you as a shopper. So say you're just shopping for clothes, since you brought that up. Do you think about price first, or do you think about quality? There's a pretty big trade-off between the two, and that's how stores grow and whatnot, but what is your personal opinion?
So, in my personal opinion, I value the quality of the product that I'm going to be buying. I do think price is an important factor, and I would never want to buy something that's incredibly overpriced. However, I don't mind paying extra for a product I'm going to get more use out of, that's of higher quality and of higher demand, just because I value what I wear, and I'd rather have less of something at a higher quality than have a greater quantity of something that's not as valuable.
Yeah. We've seen a lot of different clothing brands and whatnot sprout up recently because of the materialistic environment that our world kind of creates. So I can definitely get behind something like that. So what about style versus accessibility? Those two are pretty different traits. Which one is more important to you?
In a clothes sense,
yes.
It would be, definitely be style. Just because I like to, if you look good, you tend to feel good. So I'd rather wear something that's of higher fashion rather than something that's so easily accessible.
Okay, so that's where you go back to the online shopping then,
yes,
basically,
exactly.
because
Not
online
store,
has the accessibility.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time, man.
Appreciate it.